Sorry. Yes, Jim.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss about the fact that I'm on sick leave. I think this video won't go on public for maybe 6-7 months, but or not this part anyway, but it's the feeling that my current employer wants to make me go in for a formal meeting despite my GP letter, and I feel my union isn't being robust enough. And I wonder, along with Brother Glenrose, what he did last time. He's not coming, Jim, because he's got meeting clashes. No, sadly not. He's got only his branch meeting, but he was responsive on the WhatsApp, and I feel he sees the value in what we're doing and the fact that he called the initiative. But yes, it's what you were saying, because he covered the experiences of members, and I forgot all about members, but effectively I'm a member. I kind of was seeing myself as a more, but more obviously I'm an active member, but I wonder the race element. You're not one of them. They don't really bother with, sticking up for you as much. That's how I feel.
So this is again, I think, the very difference between individuals and institutions. Individuals are nice, they can respond quickly, they can give you good advice. They're not constrained to follow by the history. Institutions are constrained by their own history. They built their institution on a certain type of, and it's very difficult for them.
Oh, can we see you, Jim? Sorry, can we see you? If the internet is good enough. In the summertime, we should.
Sure. In the summertime? No, we don't.
Well, then you said, well, once you said rainy season, and then you said you always have summer where you live.
Yeah, it's always summer, yeah. So we don't have summertime as
anyway,
such.
You said institution and history.
Yeah, so institutions are constrained by their own history. If they were built on a certain demographic, they were built on a certain condition, they were built on doing certain things, which in the case of unions, many of them were built in the 19th century in response to the kind of conditions that existed in factories, in mines, in manual workers who were being exploited. They managed to change and to incorporate office workers. They managed to blue collar and white collar workers, but they haven't managed to change their demographics and their responses to things like dealing with different diversity and things like that. So institutions find it difficult to change. Individuals, they find it difficult to change, but they change a lot quicker. Maybe in 10 or 20 years they'll change, whereas institutions will take a long time. There's still colonial influence, even though the empire finished 60 or 70 years ago. There's still, colonial thinking in the Foreign Office, in the Home Office, in the Treasury, in the whole of government is colonial.
And that then feeds into us, because, Jim, you smiled when I said, isn't there good things about working in LMIC? And I think you smiled. Probably, one of your nice emails said, what is it that made me tick? And maybe it's this maybe instinctive thing, because these are my country. LMIC is my country. So so at the interview, I was really good. I said, there are also positive things working in LMIC. And the same question came up at the other university. And I said, and they smiled. And I think then one of the people then responded really well, that we all have to take responsibilities for decolonization, the professional support services. And I thought that's really good way, because it's true. We're just, these questions are being asked by, ethnic minorities, the challenges in LMIC country, but it's the same usual thinking. And being aware made me think about what one colleague was saying some years ago. Oh, we have to check them. They change things, they track change, they're very sneaky and stuff like that. And we're talking about like African countries. And it made me think, like, I'm not sure if they were doing that just to the African countries or all the countries like UK universities, but it has made me think, like, having positive kind of yeah,
Well,
is
exactly. There's videos of people saying, well, I think one of these TED Talks, they're called TED Talks, saying that a lot of people only have a single view of African countries and a single view of low and middle income countries, and that is usually negative. Whereas there's multiple lives lived there with different outcomes and different ways of expressing themselves. That multiplicity of views is not reflected in the Western view. So one of the advantages of living in a low and middle income country is you don't have that history of expectation to do it in a particular way, which is usually racist and colonial, because they don't have that history. They are forging their own path. They're working out how to do it best for now, rather than what happened 100 years ago.
you see in the UK, history kind of informs everything's quite historical, whereas in the low middle income countries we're setting up. Well, Lizzie's here, but
Yeah.
not Sean. This is terrible if Sean doesn't turn up. Which, isn't it? We got really good people here. Also, hi Lizzie, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, actually, I'm not very well,
No.
but it's nothing much. Just I'm not sure if it's hay fever or some kind of virus. But
Have you done the COVID test?
no, I don't have any, and you can buy them apparently, but there's nowhere around here that sells them. So
I got loads of them. Mosque used to give them out. I got loads of stock of them. I hope Sean turns up, Lizzie.
When did they expire?
I haven't thought about that. I'll check them later. Never thought about them expiring. It's a good point. I did email Sean. It'll be bloody embarrassing if he didn't turn up. Do you know Sean, Lizzie?
yes.
Is he a young man?
No.
Oh, okay. Because he was like Glastonbury
in
and
his,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's in his 40s, I'd say.
Yeah. Probably best not rubbishing. It's best not rubbishing our guest of honor. My typical ways have been, this, to put it on record, obviously I'm sick and everything. Also, it's made me think, Sean and Jim and Lizzie, what happened was on Eid day, my dad got his scan result, and I was literally crying to Allah, and I was like, please Allah, let my dad be okay. I'll be good now. In last 2 years, I've been ignoring my parents and rushing about. And the ultimate discovery, I think, thanks to you, Jim, and also Lizzie as well, is the discovery that I'm a charismatic leader. But now I think I want to spend time with my parents and appreciate them. And it's brought everything into sort of perspective. I mean, how do you balance things, Jim and Lizzie? Maybe hear from Lizzie first, because you're in the thick of it with XRTU taking off and all the things that you do that we don't even know of. Well, XR for a starter.
How do I balance things? I used to multitask to perfection, and I could run a dozen different things and juggle them all and complete them all. Then I went through a very bad time. I fell seriously ill. And after that...
Was that your burnout from it, or was that your tumor episode?
Yeah, tumor. Yeah, I had a tumor in my head.
Do you reckon that's to do with burnout, or that's just the way it was?
No. It was just a tumor grew in my head. There's no rhyme or reason to that. Yeah, so afterwards, I found that I had no words. I'd lost all my words. And the only thing that I retained was my I've got almost, it's not a photographic memory, but it's almost photographic memory. I can read books very fast, you know, and things like that. So um I found that I'd stop and not do anything, not do a single thing until I felt that I was wanted to or could, without having a panic attack or you know, cracking up about it. And through that, I learned that there's plenty of time for all of it. There's plenty of other people to do it. There's plenty of other people who would prefer to do it. Let them do it. Encourage them to do it. Enable them to do it. So by doing that, I fulfilled a lot of people's hopes, really, as well as my own. You know, once I didn't have to have control of everything.
Yep.
Yeah, and so now that's what I do. I do as little as possible, almost.
Yep. I
What
would
about you,
totally
Jim?
agree with that. I would totally agree with that. I'd say that until you realize that there are other people, lots of other people who are equally competent as oneself, in fact, more competent, you know, better at whatever they want to do. And the other thing to do is to find out what people like doing and get them to do it. Because if you find someone who wants to be a leader like Aisha, but let her get on with it. If you find someone who likes to do the, you know, who to do the administrative stuff, let them get on with it. If you want someone who wants to do teaching, you know, you know, take them through it and show them how to do it. But you know, basically, if they people like
Enable
doing
them. Yeah, enable them
them.
to teach.
Yeah.
So it's about letting go, Aisha.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Well, now I've been desperate to let go, but nobody wants to take it. And that's why I feel hopeful about the new job. Is that SOAS is a breeding ground, or whatever the ground is, for maybe not breeding ground isn't the right word, for like activists, isn't it? Lizzie, are you familiar with SOAS? You must be.
Yes. It is a breeding ground for activists.
That's fine to say that.
Yeah. That was quite the right word to use.
Sometimes I don't know my words.
What are we doing about Sean?
If Sean doesn't turn up, this is bloody embarrassing. Do you have his number, Lizzie?
Probably, yes.
Yes, we're connected. Well, Jim, at least I managed to get all the connected people together, but nobody wants to take it forward. I think it might be me talking too much that inhibits them. They think it's a talking shop for Aisha to go on about all Aisha's grievances.
Who says that?
Jim is naughty.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, the thing is, until you get people who you know can say things and who want to be leaders in the same way as yourself, and allow them to give them expression to their own views. You know, you may find that you only have 10% of the time, and other people have 10 or 20% of the time, but it's still going to make it easier for you because they will see themselves as being part of the leadership roles.
Yeah, the people are not coming forward to take it forward. I think we have Junaid is the only one. Amira's gone off on holiday. Did she reply to your email, Jim?
She didn't, no. So she's in Tanzania, is she? I haven't seen her.
No, I asked her if she saw your email. Do you think, Jim, sometimes your emails are too nice that it puts people off? Do you think that could be it?
You're being too nice. How do you mean? How would being nice put people off?
They maybe they think, can this professor be this nice? Have they come across a professor who could write a nice long email and they think, oh, they won't have time for me? because one of the things Susan said was she feels a bit uneasy about contacting Marion, and I wanted to put across something forward, which was that, look how Marion, Brother Akish, me, and Susan, we ended up having confidence in being able to communicate with. I don't like the word networking as much, but I see networking can be seen as positively, isn't it? What is networking? Because, well, anyways,
you talking about?
sometimes networking means getting married, isn't it?
That's a form of networking.
Yeah, I once went to Civil Service Muslim Network, and what they were trying to do is covertly trying to help people get married. And at age of 27, when I was actually getting on a bit, or at the time when I should have been worried, I thought this is not right. They put us in group work in mixed setting, and I'm thinking this is Islamic. Why have they put us men and women together? And I kept moving my chair away from the, men. And I was like, speak loud, I can't hear you. And then I had the next session, they were going to go afterwards to lunch or dinner. I thought that's not right. So I wrote to the woman, I said, this is wrong. Why are men and women going to dinner together? And then my brother told me, he said, networking means getting married. So I got all confused. So that's why I think, what is networking? But I am networking, isn't it? I'm networking. I started off speaking to Jim, is getting help from myself. That wasn't the intention, but now I found myself in problems. I'm getting loads of help.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about this, Sean?
Look, if you shut up for 2 seconds, Aisha, perhaps someone else can get a word in edgeways. I messaged Sean. He was online 3 minutes ago, and I said, Sean, are you coming to Aisha's meeting? And he hasn't replied yet. So I don't know what's happening. Perhaps I couldn't get the link to work at first.
So he hasn't emailed me. I'm looking at my email. Nothing's come through from Sean.
Shall I threaten him with giving you his phone number?
Yeah. In the meantime, Jim can fill us Sean Day, I believe he's called. And also, who's going to highlight this racism business? 2 white people and Aisha. I'm the brown face. I'll try calling Brother Akish. This is turning into a disaster, and I'm very sorry, Jim, for your time.
The whole thing about bullying, harassment, racism, sexism, everything is that the responsibility for calling it out is not down to the victims alone, not down to those who are discriminated against alone. It must involve the wider community. So don't feel bad about the fact that, there are people here who are anti-racist and anti-sexist and socialists who want to, improve the lives of others, and that they're not the right color or the right faith or the right anything.
I think it's fine. I think, Lizzie, I've now reached a burnout point where I feel I'm going to pack this in as I get my new job and stuff for a while, and then slowly recruit students from there.
My advice is it's not burnout. I mean, it is burnout in some ways because you keep going and you keep going. But what you need, everybody needs, is reflection. You need to do things, and you do things for a period of time, and you get going and you start doing things, and you find, yes, this is what I got to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, and you start doing lots of things. After a while, you've got to sit back and have a couple of months thinking about, hey, what did I do? What worked? Why did it work? How do you get better with that? How do you build upon your experience? And that's what you need now. You've had some period, you have this year had some period of reflection. You've had some time when you've actually had to stop because things hit the buffers. But now you've got a chance to say, right, actually, you've done a lot in the last 18 months or so. What has worked? What hasn't worked? Why does it work? Why didn't it work? How could you do that better? Who is it that you can bring on board that can help you? And come back and think, right, actually, this is what we're going to do.
Spot on.
Right. Join us. It's Lizzie and Jim. They're still there. We're waiting for Sean from Real Media. You could join us, maybe. Yes, Brother Akish, you might join us for the meeting. Fantastic. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Bye. I think, Jim, what I need is more Brother Akish, more students. SOAS is the right place. And the easy, and if I get into UCU, inshallah, then it would be my way into like Black Members Committee for a start. And then I could network and find out the key people from the Race Advisory. And I already know the key people. Sister Donna is well connected. Lizzie, Sister Donna came to a Rice Festival, isn't it? And a Rice Festival is all done by you, isn't it? You're the main lady.
No, I'm not at all the main lady. Arise is a festival of left ideas, and I don't really have much to do with it anymore because it's the Labour Party.
So you were the one who reached out to Black People Against CUT.
Well, no, I think what happened is, hi Akish.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Akish. Yeah, how are you? The train looks lovely. Nice train. Yeah. Brother Akish, we're waiting for this guy called Sean. He's not turning up. At least Lizzie has connection. And we're thinking of the future. It'd be good to get your ideas because I've been sickly or almost on the verge of jobless. And I think Jim's right. It's time for a period of reflection to go away, to focus on my life, to focus on my parents. And yeah, there is time.
Where are you on the train to, Akish?
I'm going to Charing Cross. Yeah.
Ah, right, to work.
I'm going to work, yeah.
Right, well,
it's hot in London here. Oh.
But
I have a radio interview at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, if Sean doesn't turn up, this is really disappointing because he told us he's going to turn up on the 14th. So whether or no link, you'd expect him to put it on his diary. But Jim, if we reflect, have we not seen a transformation in Brother Akish? I think the last meeting you left before Brother Akish joined, but today you see transformation, isn't it?
Yep. So this is the thing. No one knows what someone is capable of. No one knows the potential until they try and they fight and they get what they want. And I think that is the amazing thing about here, is that everybody here has the potential to achieve their goals. If they work with other people, if they respect other people, if other people respect them, and then they can take their views forward. And I think Akish has been amazing.
Yeah, I think Akish has recognized that he is the same person that he always was, and that other people can see that in him. And now he's got his self-confidence back, haven't you, Akish?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I really appreciate. I took all of your advice, and they are in front of my mind, So I've taken it seriously, and I hope we got the first meeting will be in November, when my new job is, we're going to challenge all professors, vice chancellor, all those top people there. So I'm gonna be in the middle of them. They might be wondering how this guy came in, but God is great, nothing impossible. Yeah.
That's
but
right.
I give credit to people who put their trust on me, So and I give them a credit and I appreciate. Yeah, but I'm not gonna let them down. Anything which is for them, I have to fight for them as
Yeah.
usual. You know, so if you do something good to people, people will not forget you. You know, yeah. There might some people that can dismiss whatever you've done, but God is watching you all the time. Yeah, and I believe in God. Yeah.
But I think, Brother Akish, the best thing about you is you thank people. And I like to think, Jim, you see that in me and Lizzie. I always thank you guys. And actually reflecting on whether Sean turns up or not, and we wrap this up early, this is actually quite nice because we're being reunited with Jim and Lizzie again, isn't it? They trained us. That was really nice.
Yeah.
I think
We didn't train you. I certainly didn't train you. Jim may have had a
And
hand in.
Marvina, she trained us as well.
Oh, I think if you start naming the influential people in making this change, I think you've got to start off with people like Donna. You've got to start off with people like, even people that you no longer agree with now, like Sean. You've got to say they
Which
helped
Sean?
you at times.
Jimmy. Oh, Sean Wallace.
back.
Yes.
Way
Yes.
back, way back.
Did you, Jim,
You know,
did you know
and-
what was going to happen? That I was going to discover these men are racist. Lizzie is the only good socialist I know. And maybe a few other people. I can't think of them right now.
I'll tell you,
Marion Carty.
Lizzie, Marion Carty, yes, another one, and
Marion
what's her name?
Hirsch, my dear friend.
Susan. Yeah.
Susan
So
is a
there's
good
loads of
socialist.
loads of people there, and what I like about Lizzie is that she has shown us that you don't have to be an extremist to be a socialist. You can be a socialist with the core values of looking out for other people.
What's the extremist
Exactly.
socialist?
Well, extremist socialists are people who think that the only way to be a good socialist is to actually fight and to actually be out and demand and to fight other people. You don't have to fight other people. All you have to do is to be there in the background, persuading other people to be more acceptant of other people.
Yeah, well, just even present the information that can help them change their own mind.
Change their own mind. You don't change other people's minds. You change other people's can change their own mind with the right information. Absolutely, that. And Lizzie has shown that, and that's what I really appreciate about the way that she's done that.
How did you see that in Lizzie? Sorry, Lizzie, I always ask Jim questions. He says woolly things. If you explain it in the everyday person. I believe what you're saying about Lizzie.
Going on the TV show was eye-opening because nobody got up and shouted. Nobody said anything drastic. People realized the strength of their arguments to persuade other people to think about racism, to think about how you react to other people's views. And I think that was really, really powerful to me. That TV program was powerful.
Yeah,
I think the TV was powerful because we came as an eclectic group of people and we were brought together. It was and Lizzie had become our friends, and it was nice. It was a bunch of friends talking, and it was done in a very slick way.
And
what was Junaid was talking.
And Lizzie listened to us. We listened to you. Everyone listened to each other. What's the name of your engineer, Lizzie?
Gaz is such a lovely guy.
Gaz.
Fantastic.
I met Gaz, Lizzie. Gaz was so kind to me. We tried to do video editing and I couldn't manage it because long story short, I couldn't manage it for various different reasons. And I've got a crappy laptop of all things. But he's such a nice guy. And I feel bad, like you, Marion Carty, Gaz, are so pro-Palestine and you do things for the country, like, for the people there. And I feel like I do nothing much other than, nothing campaign-wise. And I think trade union, and I think, Jim, connecting with Marvina and River, if we may say her name. By the way, Lizzie,
yes.
Without saying, and I don't know, I've ended up putting boyfriends and girlfriends together, haven't I, without mentioning names, because you were hanging out with them. I was thinking to myself, oh, wow, Brother Glenroy is here. Royalty. Sorry about this.
Right.
But no, sure.
Are you going to stop on one subject for more than 2 seconds? You talking about Steve and River?
This is being recorded. We'll release it in 7 months' time. Yeah. I thought this is
time.
Yeah, I thought this is stupid, Aisha. You can't control people. And actually, if your priorities maybe make people Muslim first. And so this is terrible. Like, stop, Aisha. It's fine. People. And then I thought, what was the purpose of bringing people together again? But I don't know. I think they are too. I think Steve is very charismatic. And then I stopped back and I thought, and actually, this was one of my best moments, isn't it? Lizzie, because I stood my ground and I said, we'll have lots of different people in the group. And Brother B is my proudest achievement.
Yes, you brought together a lot of different people and welcomed them all into your group. That was because you were just trying to grab numbers.
Yeah.
You were just trying to grab as many people as you could to worship at the altar of Aisha.
No. Astaghfirullah means seeking forgiveness of Allah. No idol worshipping. No idol worshipping at all. But it was ego driven. If I got lots of people together.
And then, not content with that, you then started to slightly dictate what we should talk about.
Yeah, we had to kind of make a trade union racism. Brother Glenroy, Sean Day, Lizzie has his number, so that's a good thing, but he's not turning up. I'm really embarrassed and sorry about this.
That's okay. That's okay. You don't need to get worried about, whether people turn up or not. What you need to do is celebrate the people who are here, not the people who are not here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So where's Glenroy? Have I met Glenroy before?
Probably not, but I am here and I'm listening.
Oh, hello. Yes, I have, I believe.
Greetings.
Well, I've watched you. I've watched you speak on Zoom meetings, I'm pretty sure. You have a beard, a whitish beard.
Oh, but you've obviously seen me. I can't turn my camera on for some mysterious reason. Whenever I do it, this happens. I don't know if people can see that symbol. And I'm not sure what it means.
Banned. You're banned.
You've not given access to the camera.
Yeah, that's what it's saying, but I have no idea. I tried to switch it off yesterday at a meeting.
Yeah.
And this has come up.
Do you think Lizzie is something to do with me? Do you think it's something to do with me, Lizzie?
No, I think it's...
Anyway, so greetings everyone. Sorry I'm late. Yeah.
That's good. No, it's good.
As I understand it, Sean is not able to attend.
Shall we show Brother Glenroy's screen share? This is Brother Glenroy.
I'll go and ring him a moment while you're doing this.
This is Brother Glenroy with Mum and Aisha. And this is Aisha's way of, Brother Glenroy, sorry for making you uncomfortable. I did the similar thing to Jim as well. It's Aisha's Islamically compliant pictures. Don't ask me what I do on the tube. Obviously, I have to sit near men and everything. But
make trade union great trade union.
Yeah, it's not all about racism. And my mum still doesn't know what these posters she was holding. Just to add, my mum doesn't speak English and she has schizophrenia. But yes, she's lovely, isn't it?
Lovely.
She's lovely.
She is lovely.
And what Jim said, Jim, you've helped me appreciate my mum. This bringing people together is so helpful. But yes, and I learned you can approach policemen because Brother Glenroy was approaching them, not the friendliest. Women are a bit smiley, but yes, because they can take your photos and obviously they won't run off with your phone, as Brother Glenroy said. But yeah, it sounds like, Jim, Sister Jackie Walker's prediction is coming true. People are not interested in taking our story forward. And
that's not quite what she said. She said it won't be immediate. It won't be some kind of three-fire alarm. It will take time, gradually.
Yeah.
So, let's you're putting in the work, my sister. It will
Yeah.
bear fruit. But
Yeah,
when
hi,
you plant
brother.
a tree, no matter all right, when you plant a tree, no matter how many times you water it daily, you still have to wait for it to grow and bear fruit. So it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brother Glenroy, we might be happy to hear Brother Akish's story. I think we haven't conveyed it to you fully. Brother Akish, you're going to be, tell us your story about what you achieved. Because you admire Brother Glenroy, don't you? And you saw a photo of him and you seen him last time.
Aisha, since Aisha,
Yes.
my battery is running out, so I think I'm gonna reconnect it, and I will what do you call it? I will tell Brother Gilroy later on.
Yes. You can.
Okay, well, I've just rung Sean and his phone is switched off. So something must have come up because he was online. He was online at 6 o'clock and something must have come up. So I shouldn't think badly of him. I should imagine that something has happened that's delayed him.
Yeah.
About that, I'm trying to get my video to work. Not even sure what's going on there. Okay. You saying, Comrade Aki, you're going to leave and come back?
Yeah, what was Jackie said? What did Jackie say to you, Aisha?
She said, Brother Glenroy will remember, she said to us, possibility of we all act as a pyramid scheme and we try to get maybe 10 Black workers in, each of us, or politically Black, and then we grow and become a massive group. That's a tough one, it's doable, but that's probably the way to go, pyramid scheme. We need to get our numbers. And then, which is what Sister Brother Glenroy, if you can connect the sister up, my overall feeling is Maxine Luby is probably not getting as many invitations to stop racism as she should be. Instead, you get people like the actual vice president. So she's the vice president elect and something vice president, the actual president, the young white lady, she gets loads of invitation to stop racism. And somebody explained it, it's not her who I've seen, frankly, not listen to, issues of racism, deny there are racist issues. When I raised it at multi-branch meeting, when they were doing their strike and stuff, Vicky, whatever her name is, Vicky something. Anyways, what is her name, Jim? I forgot, Vicky. I think all my illness is making me forget things.
Yes, I know. Yeah. No, but I
forgot the president's name. Vicky Blake.
I've lost them.
Vicky Blake.
Yeah, that's right.
She's very unmemorable. I find Black and brown speakers more exciting, more interesting to listen to. That sounds a bit mean, but sometimes I think boring white people are here.
Yeah, cheers, Aisha.
You're all right, Lizzie. We'll let you off the hook.
Handrail and face the direction of travel.
Why do they choose white people?
Bleeding all over everyone.
We need to stop it and mute.
I thought he was going to teach. Yeah, I thought he was
we've muted him. Yes, but I suppose maybe it's that time to think about which way. So then my other thinking was at SOAS, time to bring in some students, and maybe if me and my mom go to occasional rallies, and then we tried, like, bus strike would be an ideal one if we ever went to a bus depot and we found other Black and brown workers. And one of my tasks for this one, if I wasn't ill, I would have remembered, was to bring in my white actual neighbor. She works in catering, but she's never been to a Zoom meeting. And it shows how society leaves out people. And, she lives off, not very low income, but that's it. But she's an organic leader. And I think one of the things sellable about trade union is this recognition of that we're all leaders, and what Brother Akish achieved whenever he's ready to come back, because that's a show of your potential and thinking things are achievable, and then the network. Yeah, I'll leave it to Jim and Brother Glenroy and Lizzie and Brother Akish for wisdom and wrapping this up, and for me to shut up.
Well, if I may speak first, then I remember Brother Glenroy in a Zoom meeting he was speaking at, and it was on the subject of the expulsions to Rwanda, and everybody was very angry about people being removed from this country and sent to Rwanda. And one person from Rwanda, from the government in Rwanda, can't remember the name of it might have been one of Glenroy's colleagues, but anyway, they said to me, have you ever asked why Rwanda agreed to do this? And I said, no, I hadn't actually. I just figured that, first of all, Israel built some buildings there. Then they used them for other refugees. And then they used them for the Australian refugees. Then now they're going to use them for British, whatever we're going to call the people that are repatriated from the UK. And he said, we're doing it because we know what it's like to suffer, losing your country, having to leave your country. We know what it's like to be in that position, and we want to help these people, which I thought was brilliant. And I said to him, could we have a further discussion on this? Because I'd really like to get a further discussion on this, because I really hadn't thought about what it was like for the people in Rwanda who were welcoming people from here. But he apart from an initial email to say that this is the email to connect for this further debate, I haven't heard from him since. But I don't know if Glenroy could further that question, because I'd really like to get him or someone on the show to talk about what it's like to be in Rwanda and to be thinking about welcoming these people who are being thrown out, basically, of the UK.
Well, I don't know if you're aware, there's a demo on the 19th, so the Rwanda issue hasn't gone away, no matter how people in Rwanda feels about it. I think, the issue is, did people set out on a journey from wherever they were in the world and wanted to go to Rwanda? That's the issue. There's nothing wrong with visiting Rwanda. Arsenal players are forever telling people to do it. The point is, people do it at their choice. This is a different matter. This is deportation. This is human trafficking. And I think that Hassan raised this because he knew what he was like, and people are obviously wondering, who the hell is this Hassan? Some people have called him Mo Farah, and he's aware of what it's like to be trafficking, and he's trying to tell people it wasn't a nice thing. And we can't in any way say that what's likely to happen is in anybody's interest other than Priti Patel. I just object to the automatic gut reaction that says, oh, Africa, bad, Rwanda, bad, whatever. And of course, there are places in East London that are bad, and of course, there are places in Rwanda that are bad. But the point is, no one wants to be in that position. If Rwanda is seen as a country that isn't up to scratch and up to standard, what are the reasons? We're always saying how Africa is rich minerally, and yet we casually accept that there are places that people are living below $1 a week. You know, those kind of statistics are there for us to see. So my position has always been, it's about where people want to be. That has to be a prime discussion, but I don't need any additional argument about Rwanda's human rights, which might be terrible, Rwanda's climate control, which might be terrible, et cetera, et cetera. Those are arguments, discussion we should have anyway, if we have a situation where people are suffering. It doesn't have to be because the British government have decided to choose them as some sort of pigeon. What is it, pigeon? That's not the right word, is it? Guinea pig is probably a more appropriate term. But you know, on the discussion, I still hope we make an effort with Sean, because Real News, he may see that this is also, Aisha, a building issue, i.e. we're having a discussion, we are building, we're reaching out to people. Not everybody will accept the issue that we should be doing something. And let's be clear, if we're not clear where we all are, maybe we are on slightly different pages, because what I'm saying is I'm aware that there is a level of racism within the trade union movement. Why wouldn't there be? People join the trade union from society. We don't filter them out. We don't give them a questionnaire at the door before we give them a membership form. So it's not I think, any discussion around whether there are people who are racist within the trade union movement. The question is, what structures have we set up to help Black people within the trade union? What structures have we set up to ensure that Black people are playing a role within fighting racism that they face? And that for me is the question. So as I said, I hope, Sean, we can still interest Sean, because the idea that we want to empower ourselves, others, is the criteria here, not whether we've gathered 10,000 people together, or has become the norm now. Everyone wants to do a petition and you got to get so many thousand, or no one would listen, or whatever. What if the subject matter is important, but people just haven't been able to sign your petition? You know, we have to have other method that deals with what people will see is a small concern, or a concern by small groups of people, because I think small groups of people also have a contribution to make. So I'm going to leave it there, comrades. As I explained to Aisha, I am in something of a bind. I have until about 7:15. Then I have another meeting, and for some mysterious reason in between that, I would like to get something to eat. So you probably hear me munching while we're on here. Okay, that's it, comrades. Thanks.
We're happy
Thanks.
hearing you munch. But I guess, Lizzie, not to plug myself, but I guess you came to Brother Glenroy's the Fringe meeting, and that was Sister Mel kindly reaching out to me, because I never got to go to Black Members Conference for TUC. I didn't know how things work, and I thought last minute I could send them an email, they should let me in. I threw tantrums, and actually going to the Fringe meeting was really good experience. But that's how you found out about it, isn't it? Through our group.
Very probably. The problems that I have now is short-term memory is a bit shot. So I sometimes can't remember how I arrive at things, but I arrive at things nonetheless.
And that's my point. You're connecting with each other. So yeah, it's not so, the group hasn't done such a bad thing. I just, whatever, we connected people. And that's not a bad thing.
The group hasn't done any bad things. It's the group has been a joy, really, because it's brought us together. And the thing for me is, to answer Glenroy a little bit, is that, yes, the proportion of people, of Black people or people of different ethnic, minority ethnics, are small. They're 20%, I think, of the population of the UK. So, of course, the numbers being represented in trade unions are going to be, what, 4-1. So the numbers being represented in any part of our society are going to be 4-1. That doesn't mean that Black people and people of other different ethnicities don't deserve every right to have their voices heard. And it's up to us, the white people of this country, to make sure that our brothers and sisters are enabled to be heard. And, you know, so that's why I think that Sean will be really interested in this. He's just finished the he's not long ago finished the Me Too campaign. That was the women in the trade union being abused. And so I think this is right up his alley. But Real News also does a lot of work for Extinction Rebellion. Well, not for Extinction Rebellion, but because they believe in Just Stop Oil, Insulate Britain, and Extinction Rebellion. So therefore, they're passionate about making videos about them. So I do know that he was there at Glastonbury with me, Sean. So, and he was running a tent about Just Stop Oil, doing Just Stop Oil. And we had all sorts of climate activists along to that. So I know that he spent the whole 2 weeks doing that. And he was, unlike me, I was going to bed at midnight. He was not going to bed until 4 o'clock in the morning, because some of the stages that they were on were not until 1 a.m. Things like that. So I know that he will have needed a good sleep, perhaps, when he got back. And then I went to Durham at the weekend to the Durham Miners Gala, and I know that Sean, he didn't go to that, but he was going to something similar. He's married to, I don't know if he's married or living with, whatever, to the Unison lady. So I know that he was heavily involved with the Unison conference. So anyway, all I'm saying is that Sean's got a lot of
Is
things.
he married to Unison General Secretary?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Because Brother Glenroy could fill us in. Do you know, Lizzie, what happened with Unison General Secretary? This is where connection comes in, Jim, and I won't name the dear sister because I don't know anything, but Brother Glenroy would be able to tell us. And I was thinking how to grow our network. If we could get this sister, I wrote her name down, Margaret something, Greer. And if I got her, she would be able to tell us, because she couldn't go for General Secretary. They did something to her and she went to tribunal. Is it something, if Brother Glenroy, I guess, is eating, but maybe he'll come in if he can.
Well,
yeah, I don't really know a great deal about it. I know what you're talking about, but I also don't know the Sean's partner is. I'm sorry. All right.
It's a white Scottish lady, and she's Unison General Secretary. You know what? I'm going to be typical Aisha. I see these women. I find them boring. I think they're 30 years too late. I told them at the beginning of this year, what's cost me my job was I was fighting with this group of people. And this silly socialists, not like Lizzie, and Brother Glenroy, I guess you now recognize Lizzie is well connected. She's a socialist journalist who has worked previously for Reuters. But yes, if Maggie Thatcher, socialists will say, oh, Thatcher was against women, which is true. You know, she didn't really progress women, women to high position or whatever. Fact is, even me and my parents, all we saw was a woman leader. To us, that represented the Western country has gone forward, in terms of women's rights and women's achievement. So trade union, nowadays they get few women, woohoo, big deal. I think 20 years ago, BAME, global majority, or I prefer, or people of color, or black members, politically black members, black people, like exactly black people should have gone to leadership like 25 years ago. If Thatcher made it 40 years ago, surely women should have made it 35 years ago in the trade union, and then followed by us lot. Like, why didn't that happen? So what was my point? My point is I find these boring women boring. And another thing, just to be controversial, I feel the Me Too campaign, because I've been going along, Jim, and this time I last time I really peed them off one Monday ago, because I haven't learned to stick to people's agenda. I keep telling them to focus on racism, but what my overall feeling is behind the agenda is something to do with TUC leadership. It's a way of getting the right candidate in place, and it might be linked with that. It's not just to do with women suffering. And it gets a very, very controversial and emotive, because when you hear of women and horrible things happen to them, obviously you feel bad. Also, someone like me sees, actually coming back to me, I'm also an opportunist. I saw the whole thing as an opportunity for my group. But I'm now seeing them as opportunists. I think there's political something going on. And just to finish it off, a couple of years ago, no, 2 years ago at the beginning, I would have said, this is too twisted, too much. It's not for a simple Muslim person like me. Let me go back to my old life. I don't want to be involved in this. Now I'm like, hey, I can recognize things. So I'll leave it on that for you to comment and maybe shred my arguments.
I'm going to call you out on that, Aisha, because you can only do what is available for you to do at the time in your place. And what you're doing now is available to you because you've put yourself into that position. What was available to you 30 years ago when you were at school or at college, it didn't allow you to go into
I'm
the
quite
directions.
young. I was 7.
30 years ago, yeah, we were at school. Okay, 20 years ago, you were at school still. But the people who are older hadn't got the same opportunities that you have now, hadn't got the same opportunities. If you were younger now, you would be out there doing things which were very different from what you're doing as a middle-aged lady, and you can't blame other people for their generation, for who they are. And that's the whole point about, not just about blaming other people for being a different race, a different color, a different faith, but also blaming other people for being older or for a different sex or for anything else, and for having the experiences which affected them in their youth. And that's what Me Too is about. It's about saying these things are unacceptable. They might have been acceptable, or they might have been tolerated 30 years ago, but they're not acceptable now, and you've got to stop them.
Yeah, I wanted to take you up on that, actually, Aisha. Do you think you're racist?
Well, ironically, I realized I can be offensive at that same meeting. And it was so ironic, because I said, if you follow the Islamic principle, that these unions don't want to learn from us. If we put an Islamic principle of not being with a man in an enclosed space, not, those uncomfortable photos you see of politicians and women, men, all in that little picture. And I see that and I think, no way, if I got into a position of power, I would do things my way, like Jim was saying, when you get a platform, when you get opportunities. And I can thank Jim, also thank my own self, but we're fighting, Jim. We don't usually fight, but anyways, what we're saying is, yes, so I said, so then one woman got upset. She said, at least in this country, she was the main woman. She said, at least in this country, women can complain safely. And I thought she's taking a dig at my countries, and my country like places. And then I was like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I gave an LSHDM story about how the director, I'm concerned about Afghan women and the cleaning colleagues there don't get, computer account, blah, 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 look after the women in your countries. And then my dad was banging on the door. He was so horrible. I had to push out the video and the microphone off. And because it's about sensitive topic, one of the general secretary of a small union, she was like, are you okay, Aisha, on WhatsApp? And I was like, oh my God, I don't just fight older white men. It's also brown men, old men too. I fight with my dad all the time. But yeah, that's what happened. Then I realized after a while that I probably offended them, because I'm saying women are to kind of blame. And I always believe in what my dad says, which is nice. He said, in this country, women can walk half uncovered and nothing bad happens to them. So I do believe in keeping women safe. And if the country allows them freedom, then for their freedoms to be upheld.
So you didn't answer my question at all.
What was your question? Am I racist? Am I racist?
Do you think you are?
Possibly, if I said boring white people, yeah.
If I came over to where is it your parents come from? Is it Pakistan?
Bangladesh, no, Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. So if I came to Bangladesh, would you insist that I wear a hijab then, or cover up in some way? Would you insist that I be meek toward your men? Would you insist that I be, my parents must dictate who I marry? I don't know if you still do that in Bangladesh or if you ever have done that. I know a lot of families in certain countries do insist on the parents dictating who the daughters marry, and the sons marry in a way because other families are dictating who their daughters marry. So, do you find that's both sexist and racist, isn't it? I like to think that, well, I mean, I'm very advantaged, like Jim always says. I am very privileged because I have grown up totally believing that I have the world at my feet. I can be anything I want, do anything I want with impunity, because it doesn't matter that I'm a woman. I'm as equal as a man. I'm equal as anyone else. So that begs the question of, how would I feel if I was a black woman or a brown woman? Then yes, my life would have been quite different, wouldn't it? So that I can never speak for you, but how would you treat me if I came to your country, or if my parents brought me to your country? How would you treat me? Would you treat me the same way as you've been treated here?
Well, I'm going to give a challenging answer, because one of the things Brother Bunja was saying, and he was saying words in his language, like how we treat white people in our country, is we tend to like them, although we'll say mean things about them as Muslims, because they're not usually Muslims, but we like them. They're like, oh, they look white. And I don't know if it's imperialism, colonialism, whatever the word is, that somehow they're better because they're lighter, but we definitely treat them better. And one of the things BLM kind of circles, if you go around, is they'll say, look, you're experts in our country. We come here, which is what Marvina was saying, isn't it, Jim? At Lizzie's TV show, it was that we come here, we're like migrants, but you guys go off there and you're experts, like Jim, who's in Tanzania, being an expert, being a capacity builder, if you want to say positively. But yes, there you go. That's my answer. But it's true. Well, like, look, white person is a teacher. Look, white person, English person. They're all English, regardless of.
Yep. That's exactly the way. The perceptions and the underlying views of people are colored or have been formed from years and years and years of having this repeated to them from school, from college, from their communities, from other people who come there. And the whole mindset has to change.
Can I ask, Aisha, what do you mean that women general secretary or women being elected is 20 years too late? I mean, at the end of the day, the struggle to get a representation or proper representation is an ongoing thing. There is no time limit to it, as far as I'm concerned. If it's now, it's now. We would hope that it would be more or earlier, but it's never too late, I think, is a phrase I've heard. I don't really like it because it doesn't lead to much examination. But if it's in relation to getting a few women general secretary, and don't forget the TUC is now next general secretary is going to be a man, having achieved one woman, to my knowledge, there hasn't been any others. The reality is that in lots of places, women, black and ethnic minority people, whatever, are struggling for some achievement, So I'm not going to knock anyone who achieved that, but we have to question what they bring to the table. You know, not that the achievement of getting a woman in place or whatever is too late. But I understand your expression. Just I don't agree with it.
My feeling is by now it should have been us lot, like our kind of thing. You should know if you should have trade union. Maybe what we could say is that demonstrate trade union is really stubborn, and I think it comes from the fact this idea of constantly they're going to shut us down, isn't it? Protecting the union. Maybe Brother Glenroy, what we could learn from you, and obviously get Brother Akish in. When Brother Akish, feel free to interrupt like I do. Is how did you get your story onto Times, and what was the backlash like? Without naming the brother, as he's not here, the important brother, actually him joining the group gave me confidence. I was like, I'm going for the top person, Brother Glenroy. I'm sure you won't mind. Is as in ask you to chair our meeting. Come to our, yes. He said, I completely lost train of my thoughts. Was what was I saying?
Somebody in the media, somebody getting a story in the
yes.
media?
How did you get your story into Times? And
My story.
Not your story, like the Black Solidarity Committee and your fight against RMT's Eddie Dempsey and his Twitter and his controversial Twitter support for Black Faces matter. Would have been good to hear Sister Ebony here, but yeah, she speaks very passionately.
I'm not aware. In fact, I don't think I've seen it. The whole story is out there. Not because we're specifically saying Eddie's done this or Eddie's done that, but that Eddie's failed to do this. It would have been an opportunity for him to have explained himself, and that's the fault line, I think, within this whole thing, is that somebody is defending him. And the stories get more and more ludicrous as to why he was what's the word? He was joining in treating blackface or blacking up as some kind of a joke. But the media is always sniffing around for bad stories about trade union.
Oh, so you didn't have to go to Times, or you didn't have to do much? Because my hope was always trying to somehow. No, so my hope was somehow get to media. I guess, Lizzie, the big question I never asked you, can you help us get to them big media then? Because you got a connection with Reuters and Fleet Street and all of that. And then the other problem is you got connection because you go to Unite building and you got connection with the top union people as well, isn't it? So you're in the both camp.
I think you have to create a story that's going to have a lurid headline, as lurid as possible. So you have to perhaps attack someone, not physically, but attack someone like the way that Eddie Dempsey actually did everyone a favor by bringing up the subject of blacking up, because yes, years ago when I was a child, my father would only let us watch BBC One and BBC Two, and the only thing he'd let us watch, because he liked to watch it, was the black and white minstrel show, and all these singers sang some wonderful songs, but they all blacked up. Every single one of them, they were white people blacked up. And that was normal. I've no idea why that was normal. Now, looking back at it, it's absolutely ludicrous. Why? Why on earth did they do that? But the point of the thing is that perhaps you need to, well, you can't, because it's not about black and white minstrels, is it? But I was going to say, bring that show up and say, how come you lot used to produce a show called the Black and White Minstrels? My God! But I don't know what you got to think of a good story that with a hook that'll catch them, and then you get the coverage.
Just to be
Or
controversial as possible. I guess I saw the RMT video. I don't know, Brother Glenroy, if you got to see it. I sent it to another brother in our group. There's a video with RMT. This is difficult, isn't it? Because you're
well,
part of that show.
I tried to and Susan did
Yeah.
explain that it was Mick's interview. He just happened to be there. But yes, if that had been me and my interview and
Yeah.
I had been there, I would have said, don't talk to me, talk to these people. I'm on their picket line. These are the people whose story you need to hear. But they didn't, did they? They didn't step up, and Mick didn't enable them to. And I think that was what was a shame about it. But yeah,
I thought that a woman GMB regional organizer, Helen, Brother Glenroy posted the video now, how she shushes the Black workers was the shocking. And I think Brother Akish and Brother Shingi at their previous meeting, they raised it. We need more colleagues like Brother Akish. And I think maybe we hear from you, Brother Akish, your time with our group, because I think we're now going to take a break with my illness, my potential loss of job, my potential, inshallah, new job. Maybe Brother Akish, if you would like to network like how Lizzie was with Brother Glenroy, the legend.
Before Akish says anything, I'm really sorry, but I've got a radio interview, and I'm going to be talking about Boris Johnson and Julian Assange. Boris Johnson going back into journalism, and Julian Assange being removed to America to serve 137 years or whatever. So I'll speak to you all soon. I'm really sorry, I've got to go, but I'll think more. I'll think more about what hook you can get to make the mainstream media need to interview you. Oh?
Okay,
so
what is
much.
the video? What is the video about? Aisha, what's the video about, you say?
So, Real News didn't turn up today. And then if we get our story, trade union racism onto the media, that would have been some progress for our group, isn't it? I don't know what's happened
Yes, but
to
what I'm
Julie.
saying is you've downloaded some you said you've downloaded a video. What is that, the video you're talking
the
about?
video of RMT, yeah. I didn't download it. So it's on Lizzie's show. Jim said if his internet cut out, if it works, he'll come back. So that's good news. So this, I don't know if you saw this RMT video. I found it quite racist, but apparently this happens quite a lot. I found
yeah, let me see it. I can't comment. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it. But I'll have a look and come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim, and yourself, because you want to get some rest, you say, yeah?
No. We probably need to wrap it up, as in we need to now think of next steps. So that sounds like Lizzie has given us the next steps. My hope, as I explained, get some students from SOAS if I make it as my new job, and then get some. And if UCU, God willing, sends me to the Black Members Conference, and if I can get elected to the Black Members Committee, then I'll find more and more connection, isn't it? But also thinking about people like, I don't know if I can name her. I think I can name her. Sister from Brack, I won't name her, but a dear sister, like through her, I'm recognizing a lot of connection. Or if I find Sister Margaret Greer and we connect her, and then we resurface her story, but then we're coming together as pure grassroots level. And then maybe should we get Brother Akish to speak while you look at the video, kind of multitask?
No, I'll look at the video later on. Yes, let's hear from Akish, yeah?
Brother Akish, you're networking with Brother Glenroy, the legend.
A lot of things to do here. Brother Gilroy and Sister Asha, Jim. Is it 3 of us left, is it?
Jim's internet's down. Let us see your face, Brother Akish. Your joyful, victorious face and what you achieved. Because I think that's what Brother Glenroy's space does, is there to empower sort of Black organizing, empower people, I feel, or you go away feeling quite happy and recognizing what trade union racism is. We still can't see your face.
1 second.
But if you want to talk him through what you achieved, really.
Okay, like this, yeah. In terms of being in this group, is it that what you said? Yes,
I think, yeah, you came in as a already established person who had achieved things, but I think what the group gave you and what you took from it and what Brother Shingi, your assistant, but who was effectively helping you become a leader, isn't it? And
yeah,
what you achieved, really, it wasn't all this group. This group
yeah,
provided a bit of support.
Actually, is just going back to the union. So when I 1 second, oh yeah, 1 second. It's 24 hours. The building, 24 hours. Yeah, sorry, I've just been distracted by work. So I can see that from beginning of joining a union and getting training through the union, and then involved in getting people in house outsources, and I was very active on it. So and then later on, the lady called Dr. Loshir introduced me to Sister Aisha. So from there, when I start attending meetings, I get a lot of confidence, and they give me a lot of advice. Sister Aisha, in particular, Jim also, and Lucy sometimes, and others, Madina, or those people. Yeah, I can give them credit, you know. And then when Brother Shingi joined us in King College, and I think he's got a lot of information. People was telling him about how I was involved for all these kind of things. So he was so interested to work with me, Brother Shingi. So and then he helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. I give him credit in terms of getting the academic board and professions boards in King College to be a member of the board. So Brother Jingi did a lot advertising. I give credit to Sister Aisha also. You guys were very marvelous telling me that there's nothing impossible. Part being strong and be focused, and that's what I was doing today. So I'll be new in that group. I will be joining people I've never met. People obviously they've been in King College for 50 years. So people who work with the Queen also. So I'm going to deal with them and discussing a very critical issues which is related to staff at King College. So I was elected. So I don't know, but from 7 people who are top, some of them the head of departments, I was bloody down. So I was elected, Brother Bulwer. I don't know how they elected me. So I become top of them. So, or because I'm a minority group or whatever, I don't know. But now I'm one of the King College academic board and professional staff. So we start in 1st of August for 3 years. So I might need a lot of advice still from you guys. Give me a machinery or might be weapons where I can use that. Not fighting with them. Yeah, and that's all. So this group called Ancient Unions is very important. I'll give them credit. I've become very strong And now I focus and I give them a big thanks for that. So thank you very much, Sister Aisha. So Brother Gilroy, I know you have a very good experience. We need you here all the time. If you have the time, and come advising us. I can see the African conquerors. Obviously I'm an African. I'm deep in my heart. I'm an African. I want to see one day Africans will be stand on their feet, and the resources not be exploited by those people who call themselves leaders in Africa, who are petty from Western world. I'm not against them sometimes, but obviously what they're doing is pity for our citizens in Africa or all the color of black people all over the world. If Africa today is done and Africa start producing the things, Africa is standing the like all the black people over the world, they will look for Africa as a basket food for them, you know. So this is what I was thinking of. But still, if we still have a croc leaders who are crocodiles, yeah, who don't think about the second generation or next generation or unborn generation, that will be tough life, and life will carry on. But the time is coming. Time is changing. Yesterday, I was watching Ghanaian the setup of doing their fashion, their clothes, and then Africa produces still not coming here in this country, not coming to any country of the world. That's the system, and this is want to stop it. If I can buy potatoes from you, so you have to buy a banana from me, or otherwise let's stop from there, you know. And this is what time will come soon. So our group will discuss everything. We thought that it will be like a trade union. We know trade union is a racist organizations and never seen before. But to break this kind of stop it, we need a majority of those are minorities, call themselves minority here in this country, special color people, to join the union. And when you join the union, and then you can go there and break a circle. But if you are still minority, you will not get nothing, you know. So we tell our people, even here in Kinkala, tell our black people here, Asian guys, let us come together, let us join union, let us be organized. Because if you are not organized and you think that you can be fight by alone, you will not fight alone. Yeah. If you fight like 2, 3, 4 people together, that way people can listen to you. Right? If you are one, no one can listen to you. Yeah. And I want to thank you for taking the time to listen, Brother Gulwa and Sister Aisha. Thank you very much.
Well, Brother Glenroy, it's some disappointment. I'm sure both of you would have read. Sean from Real News got it's got COVID, but we got the main lady. Maybe Lizzie's even more connected. But Brother Glenroy, I think Lizzie would prefer your number. She's asking what is your group. So far, I said Global African Congress, RMT Black Solidarity Committee. Do I have your permission to send her your number?
Sure, go ahead. It's out there in the public domain anyway. You know, people have it. Yes,
really?
Various events and so on. You know, if you Google it, you'll probably find it. But
I thought I was a special person who's managed to get your number. Never mind. No, actually, your number is available on your email thingy, isn't it?
Yeah, and people have put it out, and I've seen it on other places. I've also seen my old number, which is interesting because I've not had that number for about 5 or 10 years, but it's still out there. But I just want to say to Akish,
Brother Akish.
Akish, yes, thanks for that comment, because yes, it does say some of the things that we are struggling with, especially on an international level. You know, what are leaders in black countries doing? But also we have to face up that it's not necessarily a priority for European trade unionists, and you know, we have to recognize that a lot of it is bluster. You know, workers of the world unite, and then only certain workers are expected to unite. So we need to recognize that, and I'm glad you put your position as it is, and you have nonetheless had an impact. And I think a lot of the things we need to do is remember that it is actually up to us, some of the things we get to do. Lizzie was saying, and rightly so, about the proportion of workers in this country who are non-white, and her figures might or might not be correct. The point is that in certain industry, African people, black and ethnic minority people, all other group of workers are the majority, and it's because of what the job is. You know, this is why the death toll in the buses was so disproportionate around COVID, because all the white comrades are in the manager's office, or, you know, doing admin work and other work, whilst the workers out on the front line are people of other ethnic groups. So the figures have to be looked at depending on the industry or the department within each industry. It's a fairly bland statement about our proportion within the population. But as industrialists, we are talking about our proportion within various states, areas that we're working in and trying to address. So if we can't get black representation in black structures, in black areas that predominantly black, why is it that people are trying to justify that the proportion of people, the majority of people in this country are white? They are, but we have built up a expectation that if you work in a particular industry, then your representation will reflect the people in that industry. And that's what seems to be missing. And that's the question that we have to ask. And the trade union is racist unless they actually address that. There mustn't be any ambiguity about it. Of course, we don't want them to be racist. And as I said earlier on, I don't think they go out of their way to be racist. Some do. But this is an institution. This is a body that think things should be done this way and only this way. But those people who think that they can join up people who are possibly showing inclination towards racism, and all you have to do is wait for them, and they'll grow into thinking socially, because it's like an old pair of shoes. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're going to have to put in measures to challenge it. And comrade like Akish should stand up and make sure that you get the message out there. You know, I'm not exactly going to be around forever, and I'm certainly good to see there's people, young people like yourselves, willing to step up. But comrade, it's gone 15:15. I was hoping to go at 15:15, but yes. Please share my number and share it with Akish. Akish, if you send me
no, I sent it to Lizzie. I'll send it to Brother Akish. Yeah,
send to Akish. I can put you on our Sunday Solidarity mailing list so you get the information.
I sent him the link. I tried encouraging Brother Akish to come along, because I feel
but when people receive it, when people receive it direct, I think it's better. But I put it in some network as well. But I think next week we're discussing something that I don't think a lot of people have an angle on, which is the amount of territory owned by imperialists in other people's country. You know, not just about AFRICOM, not about, for example, the situation in Cuba, where there's Guantanamo Bay, where the Americans actually own it. But for instance, the recent atrocity in Morocco and the border of Spain. Spain have land or own land in Morocco, left over from colonialism. And there are lots of that. And individuals also are owning property that most people are not aware of, because the state, when they became independent, permit certain people to own certain things, or continue to own certain things. Sorry, Akish, you're trying to speak. I need to go in about 5 minutes, though, comrade. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to disrupt you, brother. You're right. You can see a lot of places, you know, like you go to Congo, this is a king of Brazil. They have a king of Belgium. They have a land there which is already gold mines, and
what do you call it, gold mine and diamond mine, and it's very terrible, and no one talking about it. And then, as you said, in land of Morocco, these guys, they already, Spain has their own land there. It's time of colonization is already over. So if you still sticking those people and being our brother, and they are not our brothers, you know, it's a kind of sticking, and people are beating us in another stick, you know. So I'm sorry. One day I'm gonna come on your meeting. I really actually told me last time, but I was so busy, you know, with the kids and work, and give me a lot of time, not a good time to attend on time sometimes. But I really appreciate.
I know how it is, comrade. It's like today I've got so many meetings on, and I'm supposed to be somewhere else, so I need to check up on that as well and see where we are. Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
Glenroy, before you go, would you like to give us some task how we take this forward? I guess Lizzie's told us she'll think of Hook to get us on media, but your thoughts on how do we go forward? I think one of the shortcomings have been because I talk so much, I can't get people to take this on, so it becomes only me. And
even if it's only you, I mean, I think you know, a short YouTube video or whatever, because you're able to convert things into YouTube. I've not learned that skill yet. I'll need to talk to you another time about that. But if you do a short video, try to keep it simple and to the point about, rather than say, for example, there's racism in the trade union. I have the impression that there's racism in the trade union. Yeah. And I would like to examine it. I would like to further look into why these things happen. Why is it since Bill Morris, however many years ago, and do a bit of research, we've not had another black general secretary. I suspect we had, whilst not taking anything away from the current general secretary of the Unison. You know, raised the issue that there was a possibility that Roger Mackenzie, first African General Secretary, may have been elected, not to take, and you must say, not to take anything away from the General Secretary. And it's also to be noted that the TUC, whilst we know that their methodology are a little bit concealing, nonetheless, we ended up with a general secretary no one knew about before or much about, and not too popular acclaim either, not because all the various affiliates were saying, yeah, let's go for such and such. It has to be said, unfortunately, the same thing applied to Francis O'Grady, but that's not the issue. The issue is that we're going into yet another general secretary, and there has been little knowledge about him or participation into his elevation by rank and file members. Are there any black general secretary or anything near president or whatever, you know? So these are just questions, I think, and a short video that not seek to pin the tail on anybody and say, this person is racist, that person is racist, which, you know, to so many times you just generate a effort by them to defend themselves. Well, I would rather try to have the discussion and then be able to conclude it, rather than, as sometimes we do, bring the conclusion first. So my advice is, I think some visual aid. I'm trying to do that as well in other areas. So I would recommend that. But I do need to go, my sister. Akia, comrade, I'll keep messing up.
I sent him his email. Also, you'll see Brother Akish in the emails I send, but I've now stopped and put people in BCC after all the complaints I got.
All right, I want to watch this video. Hope it's not too long, and then I've got to move on and do some other things. So I'll see you guys later. Take care.
Brilliant, Brother Glenroy. Thank you so much. Greetings. We're most grateful. So, Brother Akish, it's just you and me. I've told Jim that we'll be going now. Earlier on.
Jim going?
No, Jim, his internet cut off. So then he had to go, and then he says, "We'll see if it comes back." And then I think he's.
Oh, he's still in Africa there. I thought he's already Kenya.
No. Oh, he went to Kenya, didn't he?
Oh, he went to Kenya. No.
Yeah, no, he went to Ghana. Last time we spoke to him, he was in Ghana.
Wow.
and his
It's
internet
probably,
was good. It's
probably a lot.
previous.
Ghana internet is good than a Kenya sometimes.
He's in Tanzania, back in his home, I believe.
Okay, back home.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's been good. It's been good. You might want to think, how do you go to many rallies? We can get more people that we can build up, take on.
Yeah, what about these young guys last time? And did they
Junaid, he's a
Yeah.
student. We need him to do Instagram. So
okay.
yeah, we can build him as a leader of the group. Yeah, but I was
Okay.
thinking more.
What about Sister Khadija?
Sister Khadija, yes, she will help us with admin. But Sister Khadija is I don't know if I'm allowed to say, she's retired.
Oh, all
So
right, okay.
she's more people who can help us, but not build her up. She's actually done lots of things like Muslim Council of Britain, women's football. She's an accomplished activist. She doesn't give it away. You have to get to know her to understand. Most people here have accomplished things. That's why they're here. Yeah,
exactly.
and now you've yeah, with my illness and everything, that's why I've gone quiet. And then it shows, like, when you're in time of need, the union doesn't stick up for you as much. You know, that's how I'm finding the union. Yeah.
No, union has got a lot of issues. You know, I don't. Might be the there is I'm doing training now. It's called race and sex sexual discrimination at work. And the guy who teaching us, his name called Dave Smith, and he says
his name is what?
Union. He says the union can start. Sometimes can the conflict of interest can happen. You know. In other words, if you a leader of union and his manager is the one who come and do the what do you call it, inquiry about, for example, the issues, to resolve the issues, and you as a person, and is your manager, when you see your manager, sometimes he says, sometimes union will not take it seriously. They will tell you, maybe this is our manager. It might be, what about his position? You know, and this is called them conflict of interest sometimes.
Absolutely true. I'm finding that as well. I get some sense that they're trying to see the employer's point of view. It's like we have to see it from their point of view. And I'm like, why do we have to see their point of view? We're there to stick up for our members. It's not our job to think of their point of view. It's their job to think of their point of view. Yeah. So I'm getting some help, some not. The union is so white. When you go to their region office, they're not. I was selling that to Jim. I needed to ask him some advice, but never mind. I can ask him on WhatsApp. But yeah, you know, I think, Brother Akish, we're going to go for a quiet period and period of reflection. But if you went to rallies like the bus strike or anything, or RMT strike, if you found more Black and brown people could do with empowering, or if you just found them at King's and you brought them to this space, then we could build them a bit. We'd have more success story than just you.
Yeah, that's the thing now I'm thinking of now.
And that's what Black Solidarity, you know, just like you said in these meetings, it was good for you. When I go to their meetings, it's good for me. I come back with knowledge, and I come back with making sense of trade union racism. And then I understand more. And then I get, I wish Brother Glenroy was here, Marcus Garvey and that politics. And I was thinking that diaspora needs its own politics, because the trade union is based on white socialism. Unless we have our own politics, how are we going to empower us?
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you will.
And what I learned.
You will ask yourself, if someone is already on the top of you, and then you want to break it, and there's no way, you have to create a way. You know, like a water. If the water is already everything like sealed up, so water sometimes have to find a way or somewhere where the water can come out. You know. So what happened? What I mean is, if they already seal up all the position, yeah, and they did it intentionally, not because of what they did it intentionally. Because if you want to give other people a chance, let them give them a chance. Because we should be governed by ideas, not because of majority. You know, the ideas is a man. You know, if ideas is implemented, or might be they want to steal your ideas, for example, Asha, what the Asha is, let her take what she's saying and put it and cover it and take it as ours. You know, later on, you'll be like, just give them, feeding them everything, yeah, and then they don't care about you, you know, and this is what they mean, you know. Even sometimes go to the meeting and people are just ignoring you, you know, and then later on I'm gonna ask you, oh, can you do a survey, put down your ideas and post it? Why should you need my ideas if you don't want me? You know, that's the thing. Yeah. So if they don't, people doesn't like you, we should not don't like them also, you know.
I think I'm going to wrap this up. Another thing that tires me is the meetings going on for a long time. So I will wrap this up, but the group's gone a bit quiet. What can I do? I think it's time to reflect, time to think about how to bring in people, not put them off.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I still haven't learned that.
Let's bring everyone. Let's see what they can say. Those people who run away from us, let them come and let us see. Because
they run away from me.
Huh?
They run away from me because I talk too much. That's why they run off.
Yeah, but what we wanted, we need, like Lisa was saying, we need a nice topic from somewhere else, yeah, and we bring in our group and talk about that topic, you know, and something related to work, something like it's not a training, but it's a debate, you know. People
actually, you could be our perfect story, you and me, because you know, you need to follow up, isn't it? Because King's Unison are not letting you in to their committee. I've had the issue. They don't let me into my local UCU committee. By the time they did, or they said they would, I've lost the bloody job.
I heard now they, what do you call her name? The chairperson of the Unison here, King. She's leaving in college in end of July.
Lady Alex, isn't it?
Yeah, Alex, yeah.
The girl, Alex Nightingale.
Yeah. So I was talking with the brother Chingy. I said, brother Chingy, let her come, you become a president.
Yeah, he would be a good chair.
I said that you come, let us give a pressure. I'll write a lot of
do you not want to go for being committee as well, being elected onto committee?
No, because that job now, the you know what happened is
you're in the council.
Yeah, the council one.
Yeah.
The conflict interest is gonna come in now. You know.
Have you asked them though? I don't think you would.
If the union will come with their ideas, because sometimes they meet union, you know, and union.
I think you can be in the both thing. I don't think it's an issue, you being a union rep. I think if anything, you being a union rep is quite good, because then you can say, look, I'm in the council, I can make things happen. If has anybody said there's going to be a conflict of interest, you need to ask that question.
Yeah, that
maybe ask.
I was talking with the brother Shingi. So he was saying that the conflict interest is gonna happen. But
no, you should ask them. I don't see it as an issue. I see you being able to sell yourself more as a Unison rep by being Unison committee member, by getting elected, by saying, look, we're going to make Unison more powerful, because management will know if we don't listen to Unison, Unison can go to the council, and management don't like us going to the council. Council is more powerful than the union and the management. Yeah, and the management goes to the council. Supposedly, council is supposed to hold management to account. Also, the Lord Geitgeser, the one who was in the news, he's your council head, isn't it? You should show that off. You should show it off, because he was recently in the news. You could say, that guy who's in the news, that's head of our council, and I'm going there. You should learn to sell what you've achieved a bit more punchy and simpler, clear way. what you achieved, like really explaining what the council is, the few big names in the council, business leaders, some of the top people from the society, like you say that, and then you name a few of them if they're recognizable or what their role is. And then you say, that's what you've achieved. And then you talk about how you organize with Brother Shingi. And then you explain why security officers are ideal for organizing, because you're at the front of the house. So you control, or you, not you, well, sort of control the people who come in, because you can greet them and say, vote for us, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can influence the people with your greeting style, and you got the people skill because you're front of people. And so it's not to underestimate, and not to underestimate your own self and think, oh, departmental head will get in. Actually, you can connect with the people. You've got the organizing skills. You have the skill coming from global majority countries where we have more extended family links. We're perhaps more outgoing. That wasn't the case with me. I had to learn, and actually it's trade union. And then we can say all of that skill, we are product of trade union, but we're also product of, your success is product of how to get by with trade union racism, isn't it? Because the union didn't help you.
Yeah.
The union connection should have helped you, but you
I
didn't.
think sometimes they access our videos, King people, sometimes.
They do. I took them all off now because I need a job.
They access our this, and then we say, oh, these people, they might be to put us in another point, but we are not going to give up anyway. Yeah,
I deliberately put Kings innocent racist.
Yeah, we are not arming no one. We are fighting for right, for a minority, and those who are silent.
Do you think, Brother Akish, can I give you a task to take forward, you and Brother Shingi? He never gives me his email address. Could you see your admin through and you send an email to Ryan saying, when are you and the sister, I won't name her, and Brother Shingi going to get elected to the committee? Because that way I'm now allowing you to take that admin forward. Do it through email or something, or do it through speaking, however you feel comfortable, and you push that ahead, because your target is by September to get to JNCC. In your case, you're going to think JNCC is nobody because you've gone to the council, right?
Yeah.
JNCC is going to be not as senior as the council, right?
Yeah.
But that was before your plan, wasn't it? Ryan had agreed, and he never, and Ryan had agreed, the brother and the sister, Brother Shingi and the sister would get elected as a rep, right? They want to be rep, and they should get.
Yeah.
And he never answers. So can you follow that up so I don't have to?
Yeah, what happened? Ryan sent a message yesterday, and he says that they want to elect a rep now.
Which one? Let's not name the sister, but.
No, they didn't name. They said everyone should forward his name if you want to be elected.
Sean has told us. That's good. He has emailed us to say he's ill. That's good. Well, okay. Just me, you, and Jim. Jim. Anyway, I'll forward it to you as well. But yeah, it's good. Because I've now had to put people in BCC because I'm getting into trouble. Angry email from people. Yes. So yeah, I'll follow it up now with Ryan and Alex again, because I'll drop a quick email now as I'm on the inbox, but we'll wrap it up and go, because otherwise I get ill and I get tired.
Yeah, that's fine. Any luck now, job or anything?
Well, this is the thing where I took the videos off. I've got a job offer that I desperately need, and I needed to go through and get a contract, and my current job, you know what I was saying, and I'm in need of help. I'm ill, and they're making me go in for a formal meeting on Monday, and the union isn't really doing as much for me as they could. And like you said, conflict of interest, the rep has been quite helpful, but not as helpful as I had hoped. No, actually, the rep has been as helpful as I had hoped. But I think it could be even more helpful. And you're right about conflict of interest. It does feel like, why is he talking about we have to see the employer's point of view? Why did the union have to bother with the employer's point of view? It would have been good if we had Jim here, because he's like an experienced rep, isn't he? But let's
Yes,
leave
yeah,
it for
yeah.
now. You, me, take on some responsibility and of seeing when we regroup, we come back, how is it we can build it? And one of the people we met, this charismatic young lady called Parminda, she did say she could find me more people who could help with trade union racism, and I never got back to her. So there are opportunities, there are people, but you would be about finding people who will take on the admin task so I'm not getting ill, and then finding people like you who we can build a bit more.
Yes, yeah.
We can do.
Yeah, brilliant, sister. Yeah, brilliant.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
brother.
Okay.
Akish, Assalamualaikum, please
Yeah.
make dua that I get my new job and I bounce back.
Yeah.
I had been
well, Allah will give you everything strength. Allah will, these people will like you to take the job. Yeah.
I've gone through
we pray for
days
that.
of insomnia, number of weeks. I've just been having only 5-6 hours of sleep. 5 now. It's getting to a breaking point. On that note, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Take care. Congratulations again and again. And I think you're enjoying life, isn't it?
It's very nice, sister.
Mashallah,
I will not stop to tell you thank you very much.
That's one of the nicest things about you, but you're attending lots of meetings, right? In preparation for it.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Really,
we
really
will update ourselves. Thank you. Salam alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.